do, 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 do. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his... Oh. Hey kids, Brother Scott here. I am so excited that I get to teach you your lesson today. Today's lesson comes from the book of Genesis. Genesis is the first book of the Bible. Did you know that the word Genesis means beginnings? This lesson is about the early days of God's people, the Israelites. The Israelite people got started when God chose Abraham and told him to move away from his family to another land. This new land was filled with people who did not love or follow God. While he was in this new land, God gave him a son named Isaac. When Isaac got old enough to get married, Abraham was worried that he might marry one of the ungodly people in this new land. So Abraham decided to send his servant back to his homeland to try to find a godly girl for Isaac to marry. This was a big task for the servant, and he needed to trust God to lead him on his journey. The servant was going somewhere he had never been, to meet people he did not know, and he really did not want to disappoint his master Abraham. The servant promised to do his best. He took 10 camels loaded with gifts and supplies and traveled 500 miles to the town of Nahor. When he arrived, it was evening and the young women were coming out to draw water from the well. Now, the servant and his camels were very tired and thirsty. So, when the servant saw the young women coming, he jumped into action by praying, "O Lord, when I ask one of these girls for a drink, and one says to me, 'Drink, and I will water your camels too,' let that girl be the one you have chosen for Isaac." While he was still praying, a girl came with a jar of water. Abraham's servant asked her for a drink, and she answered, "Of course, I'll give water to your camels too." The servant was very excited, and he had traveled very far and was trusting that God would lead him to the right girl. The servant told the young woman why he had come there and how God had answered his prayer. So she took the servant home to meet her family so that they could hear his story too. The young woman's name was Rebecca. After hearing the story of why the servant was sent and how God had directed him, Rebecca and her family could see that God was leading in all of these circumstances. The next day, Rebecca agreed to go back with the servant and to marry Isaac. The servant had trusted God and his plan, and now Rebecca was trusting God and his plan for her life too. You know, just like that servant, sometimes we are asked to do things that might seem impossible or difficult for us. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to know if we're doing things right. But we need to do what the servant did. We need to trust God and pray about those situations. Pray for God to help you do the difficult things. Pray for God to show you the right way to act and to think. Pray and trust God to provide you with everything that you need. You can trust Him. He's a good God who loves you and wants to take care of you. Let me pray for you right now. God, I pray for these children. I pray that you would help them as they seek to trust you. Help them to know the right things to do and help them as they go about their responsibilities in life. Help us all to trust you, God, in Jesus' name. Well, that's the lesson for today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed me teaching it to you. I hope to see you soon. God bless.